People are gonna have to take. Hello, everybody. We're live, and you are stuck with me today, because, or at least for a little bit of time, you're stuck with me today, because Reverend Emily is at the Interfaith Council, and then she has to talk to a gajillion other people. So you're stuck with me. And guess what? I don't know how to do the chatty. So I'll try. Let me see if I can chatty and see. No, I think they just show up. I can't actually respond to you unless I'm on Facebook. So y'all are gonna have to take care of yourselves and chat to one another. So hello everybody. Who are you? Thank you for joining today. It is Tuesday, May 11th, and it is our last Facebook Live before Reverend Robin returns next week. Yay! Jazz hands before she returns. And hopefully we'll have the mighty threesome back in our seats next Tuesday at 1:30. So it's a little bizarre doing this, talking to myself, because I don't know who is here, because I don't have the creds to log in. So tell me, are you here? Is anybody here? Is anybody watching? Is anybody listening? And how are you doing on this beautiful May day? I got to Beacon early this morning at like 7:30, but then I came home for lunch because I forgot to take my lunch with me. Got to Beacon early at 7:30, and there's always mail to collect. And I wanted to clean up from the coming of age service that we had on Saturday for the families. I needed to make sure that all the bits and bobs were picked up, and they were, so I was happy about that. Place is looking neat and tidy, so we're excited. My office is not, but the rest of the place is looking neat and tidy, so we're excited. Oh, Reverend Emily is here.
Yes, mine. Ooh, do you hear the feedback?
No? Is it from my end? Is it from your end?
I don't know. It sounds like I can hear my own echo. Now it's gone. Yay. No, my phone call said that they needed to talk another time. So here I am with you.
Yeah, I don't have to do this alone.
I see that we have Jennifer's here and my Aunt Nancy is here.
How do you see these things? I don't understand.
Because I have the power.
You have the power. I'm so glad to not have the power. Please keep the power.
I'm glad that we both got the black memo, by the way.
The what memo?
The black. We're wearing black.
Oh, yeah, the black memo. Yes, I do have something underneath it. I was saying I was at Beacon early this morning just to make sure that everything was picked up and neat and tidy, and it was pretty good. I was early, but I forgot to take my lunch with me, so I came home for lunch.
Oh, that's why you're home.
Hey, I mean, I could have gone to town for lunch, but do you know half the restaurants that were my favorite before the pandemic closed?
Yeah.
Like Inspiration Roll is gone. I'm like, where do I get a good...
You're going to have to rediscover everything.
Seriously.
So I guess... Oh, Nancy says I'm frozen.
Oh, you are? You're not frozen for me. You're not frozen for me. Jennifer Carter McCann is here. Oh, now I see her. So if I respond in this chat, will they see me? No, I can't respond.
You have to respond directly to Facebook. And now my 1:30 is calling.
Okay, bye. I'm being left alone. Guys, once again, you're stuck with me. I knew that was going to happen. So I have to tell you one of the most beautiful things that happened at the Coming of Age service on Saturday. It's being broadcast to you all on Sunday. So you should watch on Sunday at 10 o'clock. Is Jen, who is a mother of one of the 9th graders, as is our very own Reverend Emily, made the most amazing flower arrangement. Like, amazing. And I was just like... she should open up a shop. They were just amazing. Yes, Jen, I can see your comment, but I can't respond. I can't figure out how to do that. And that's because I don't have, as Reverend Emily says, the power. And I'm so happy to not have it. There's this one less thing that I need to worry about. So I'm not going to worry about it. But I can see your chats and I can talk back to you, which is probably the best way to do it. So anyway, those flowers were amazing. And I don't know how to keep them alive. I'm trying. Do I spray them? Do I like go squish at them? What do I do? And it's got me all excited. And I'm now determined to apply my mothering skills to green plants and to try to not kill them. So this is my new endeavor. I went and bought some ferns, Boston ferns. I have a weakness for Boston ferns. Don't ask me why. I think they remind me of The Hobbit or something. Oh, don't blush, Jen. Those flowers were like. Do you want to be a florist, like a flower arranger, shop owner? In your well, you could also be a lemon curd maker. You are so talented, or a rhubarb jam maker. You make the most amazing things. So creative. So, my friends, how are you all? Just add some water to that floral foam, but they won't last too long since they're cut flowers. Boston ferns. Oh, thank you for that. I've stuck one of the Boston ferns in my bathroom, which has a nice big window, and I'm hoping the steam from the showers keeps it going. Thank you for the tip about being misted, Aunt Nancy. It's so nice to have you here. So, how are things going with you all? What are you doing on this sunny Tuesday? It is finally sunny. It's been so dreary. In fact, one of the things that happened in the service was I hadn't realized how loud it was. When we tested the system, we tested with the windows closed. And then when you open up the windows, not only was there traffic, but there was rain, and it rained hard. It was a little nuts. So how is everybody doing on this May 11th? I can't believe it's May already. Oh, big news that the vaccine. Oh, thank you for working and taking lunch break with us. Vaccine is now approved for 12 to 15-year-olds. I have a 14-year-old, but I just call the pediatrician's office and they're like, nope, we're not getting it. You can go get it wherever you want. I'm like, what? So I guess the CDC comes in and says it's approved, but then everybody else has to scramble to try and figure out how to get it into the pediatrician's hands. So we'll see. We'll see what journey that takes us on. Reverend Robin is coming back this Sunday from sabbatical, from a 2-month sabbatical. I know it doesn't feel like a very long time, 2 months, but it definitely felt long to me. And so next week, she'll be joining us on our Facebook Live. You don't think the vax sites have updated the intake procedures to allow teens? My sister-in-law in India, I call everybody twice a day. I have to first call my sister-in-law, then I have to call my parents, I have to go through the rounds, then all my friends, etc. My sister-in-law said it's fastest finger first. I'd never heard of that. Fastest finger first means whoever can sign up the quickest is the one who gets it. Had you guys heard of fastest finger first? Must be an Indian thing. They say this in India. Because my niece, who is 28, got signed up in some other city, not in Bombay, but she's hanging out somewhere with her boyfriend. And so she got a vaccination date. And I'm like, how did she get it? Fastest finger first. That's how she got it. That's how I got mine. Thanks to Jen, actually, who said you should join this Facebook group. And I joined the Facebook group, and within an hour, I had an appointment. Like, hello, how does that even happen? It's crazy. So also in my household, I will tell you, I hate this time in May because it's audition season for New Jersey Youth Symphony. And it's just, there's so much tension about the damned audition pieces. And it's also concert season, and it's also graduation season. So there's so many celebrations. And I always feel like I'm missing out on something. I was thinking it would go quickly since most of the New Jersey vaccination sites were allowing walk-ins. Interesting. Yes, Aunt Nancy, thank you so much for, yes, fastest finger first. Expression here too. Where is here, please, Aunt Nancy? My parents are they've rounded the bend. So dad is out of quarantine, out of isolation. Mom is got 2 more days to go. But she was always asymptomatic. So she seems to have been doing okay. We were really worried about my dad, but they had both vaccinations. And I think that's really what kept them going. But in India, Louisville, fastest finger first. Louisville and Bombay thing. I watched the Kentucky Derby. Did you know I'm a horse racing fan? I watched the Kentucky Derby last week. Derby, as you all say. Anyway, the one thing I want to say, in India, it's very complicated. I'm sure you've heard. So the standard treatment for COVID is steroids. But then in India, because of the combination of the higher diabetes and the steroids, they get this horrible fungal infection. So this has been the latest news that's going around is people are getting this deadly fungal infection, which is not fun. Yes, May is really a blur, right? And so many concerts. Yes, parents are improving. Their nursing staff is now getting infected. One of the nurses had to go to hospital, but is now home, and everybody's resting. So they're managing as best they can. My mother seems very worried about the waste because the food is eaten off disposable paper plates, and she's really worried about the environmental impact, which I think is very sweet. But I'm like, let's get you better first and then worry about hand washing stuff. Yes, horse racing, car racing. I think it's going to be horrible of me to say this, but I'm generally like all sports except for American football and baseball and cricket. I should add cricket to that too. Otherwise, throw any sport at me and I'm there. I should say I'm not into the greyhound racing. That feels unduly something weird, but I like horse racing. In fact, in 2001, I'd done a lot of research and told my husband that we should bet on this one horse. I think his name was Smarty Jones. And of course, you never bet on a horse, right? Like, why would you do such a stupid thing? And Smarty Jones won. And I was just like, see, I told you, if we had just bet on that horse. Yes, I like a speed. Yes, I'm totally a speed demon too. So we've decided that, I have decided that Formula One racing should ever only be run in the rain, because otherwise the races are so boring. And Lewis Hamilton always wins. Although this past weekend, his teammate, Valtteri Bottas, they're both driving Mercedes cars, wouldn't let him pass. He was told by the team to let Lewis Hamilton pass, and he wouldn't. So they had to fight it out. No, I can't do that. No dogs. Dogs running somehow makes me feel, well, dogs should just be for cuddling. Don't run the dogs. Running dogs seems unduly cruel. But horses are kind of made for running. It's good for the horses to run. Some animal rights person will probably have my neck. Sorry, people. Really saying inappropriate things here. But that's the point of the Tuesday afternoons, 1:30 Facebook Live. That is the point. I did have something else to say. Oh, yeah. So Lewis Hamilton, Sir Lewis Hamilton, right? He's the only black guy. So there's 20 drivers and there's 20 races. He's the only black guy, right? And you scratch your head and you're like, what is it about the system that makes it so hard for a person of color to go into the ranks? And frankly, it's money, because it's a very expensive sport. You have to start with those go-karts when you're like 3 years old. And who has access to go-karts when the kids are 3 years old? Oh, your lab mix loves to run. Oh, but not in a race. That would be different, right? Yeah, I think they need sponsorship. I think you need to have access. Traveling is hard. Then you have to pay to get into all the races, right? So it's really difficult. And a lot of it is tied up with money. So one of the drivers, Lando Norris, 2 or 3 of the drivers are driving their cars because their fathers or family members are team owners. Talk about nepotism, straight up nepotism, right? Yes, it's very much for the privilege. So I just love that Lewis Hamilton, and he's kind of old for a race car driver. Most of them are like 21, 22, 23. He's like in his 30s. So I just adore the guy. I'll watch any race that he's in. And he got COVID last year, which is crazy. So I had this hilarious photograph from India. Somebody sent it to me. So the guy, he's a coconut water seller. He's selling coconut water on the streets. And he has 2 masks on, one on his chin and one on his forehead. And it was this utterly endearing photograph, because while he's selling the coconut, he's also drinking from a coconut. There's no way you can drink from a coconut with a mask on your head, but he's put one up and he's put one down. I thought that was really cute. Yes, in your 30s is old. It's hard on the drivers. It's a demanding sport. Oh my goodness. Yes, it was a forehead mask and it was a chin mask. It was sort of hilarious. But he was drinking coconut water at the same time. People ask me some questions. It'll make it easier. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to talk for 30 minutes straight out. Right after this is staff meeting, and I probably won't say a word at staff meeting because I'll be all talked out. Those of you who don't know, I'm an intense introvert. No questions coming? No questions coming? Who else do we have watching? Can you see? Can anybody see? Surely I can figure this out. Who else is watching? Come on. Oh, look, there are 5 people. Oh, wait, I'm getting feedback now. Hold on.
I'm an intense introvert.
I will mute myself on that other one. Sorry that you had to hear that. Okay, we've got 5 people. Who are the 5 people? I only got Jen and Auntie Nancy. Are you people going to tell me? Oh, now 6 people. Goodness. Of course, every time I say 6, 2 of them will disappear. And then we'll be left hanging high and dry. All right, very good. Yes, it was a forehead mask. I'm still trying to respond to comments. Scott Schnipper, why do you lose the feed when you comment, Scott? I'm so glad you're here. I hope you don't lose the feed. We were having an interesting discussion with the kids yesterday about swearing and bad language. And I really want to know at your workplaces who has the potty mouth. At Beacon, it's definitely me. I have the potty mouth at Beacon. Who in your workplaces has potty mouth and how do you respond? Especially those of you who are like, Laurie's here, but driving. Laurie, you're not in Boston already, are you? It's the most heartbreaking thing ever. Laurie and her family are moving up to the Boston. I mean, I'm happy for them, but really I was looking forward to raising the kids in the program. Laurie and Shannon are moving up to the Boston area. I hope you're not driving in Massachusetts, Laurie. I hope you're local yet. Really? What was that episode? We should use that as fodder for our call this afternoon, Jen. Episode of All of It. What is All of It? Oh, Laurie's a potty mouth at work when you lose your... but you work with kids, Laurie. You're not allowed to do it in front of the kids, right? There must be some strict protocols. Really? So, Aunt Nancy, you have been in the virtual work world for over 21 years. So you're the Zoom expert. What do you use? Do you use WebEx or Zoom? Oh, you dream about swearing at the kids. Yeah, interesting. NPR show from noon to 2. It was a 20 minutes. Yes, please do send me the segment. I would love to listen to it before our 4:30 call with the kids. Oh, you use GoToMeeting. Yeah, that used to be the platform. I mean, it still is pretty popular, right? Like I see people use it, GoToMeeting and Zoom. Interesting. Skype as well. I got fed up of Skype because Skype was to me like, WhatsApp too. My goodness. Skype and WhatsApp are big in India and in many Asian countries. Although in China, it's WeChat, which is the same. Oh, you used to, oh goodness, look at the things you use. Wow. I got fed up of Skype because it was like Dropbox. It kind of ate my computer. It just went all over the place. And so I was just like, I'm not doing Skype anymore. So now we do either WhatsApp. With my sister-in-law, I call on WhatsApp. With my parents, now that my mom has a little iPad thing, she's learning to do FaceTime, and they both like the FaceTime camera better. They say the visual is a little better than WhatsApp. In my bank workplace, the worst swear is a tie between me and my uncle. Interesting. Very interesting. Yes, I have been known to say in some meetings what the expletive is wrong with this situation. And then everybody starts laughing because apparently my Indian accent comes out when I'm PO'd. Yes, Dana, I'm all alone today. Dana, help. Glad you're here, Dana. Dana is our wonderful youth coordinator and is joining us early. She'll be at staff meeting with me at 2:00 because Reverend Emily has to be at the Interfaith Council and then has to do all kinds of other things. So it's just me alone. So I'm glad you're here, Dana. I'm very glad you're here. I was asking people to ask some questions so we can get talking. Oh, in case you didn't hear, the youth are planning a prom for Friday, May 21st from 6:30 to 8:30. They want food. It has been determined that if they behave themselves this Sunday, when we will have cupcake cake coming of age celebration, lots of C's, right? Cupcake cake coming of age celebration. Yeah, Dana's too new. I'm not sure that she knows that I have that bad a potty mouth. You can't scare people away in their first 6 months. You gotta like ease them in a little bit. So if the kids can behave themselves around the cupcake cake coming of age celebration, that is, they have to be 3 feet apart when they're eating and they have to clean up, then at the prom, they can have food. They can have like individual like chips and things like that. But they have to eat them standing 3 feet apart. And I was thinking about that. I was just like, if I was between 15 and 18 and you gave me a packet of food and told me to stand 3 feet away from somebody, probably one of the first rules I'd want to break is no throwing. Nobody's allowed to throw food. This is something that I'm hugely culturally sensitive to. Like when I first came, or even in India, when we used to watch movies that everybody thought was so hilarious with like people throwing cake at each other. I'm like, you don't throw food. They're throwing cake. This is funny. So I never found it funny. So I have a big bugaboo about throwing food. Nobody's allowed to throw food. Wait, Aunt Mimi's here. We've got Aunt Nancy and Aunt Mimi. Got 2 aunties. Hello, aunties. It's so nice to have you. How does Nancy know that Aunt Mimi is here? I'm a little confused. Oh, well, somehow Aunt Nancy knows that Aunt Mimi is here. Questions, people. Oh, Uncle Pete is here and he's saying, hi, Fancy. This must be some family thing going on. Dana, are you excited for the parking lot pandemic prom? We can do P's and we can do C's. Parking lot pandemic prom. Food fights were not. Yeah, that's interesting, right? Like food fights. I'm just like, what's with the food throwing? I don't get it. Yes, I love how many of Reverend Emily's family are here, and she is not. I will pass on the message. Your family showed up and you weren't there. This has been one of my dreams, is like you host a party and then you just leave. You invite everybody and you're like, I'm out, people. Goodbye. Enjoy yourselves. Don't forget to clean up. I hope it's going to be awesome. Certainly the coming of age was very awesome, Dana. So I think it will be awesome. I mean, a bunch of teens hanging out, playing some music, give them some sugar. I do hope they don't come expecting a full meal because we're not pizzaing and giving them Coca-Cola. Aunt Nancy knows Aunt Mimi is Uncle Pete's ghostwriter. Oh, nice. Excellent. I'm getting the inside track of this family. Yes, so just so to bring everybody up to speed, we had our first in-person gathering for just the families of the coming of age kids. There were 8 kids, so 8 families in their own pods, in their own bubbles. And each one of them got their individualized basket because we didn't want their hands, reaching for candles or passing the money basket. So we had everybody have their own individual basket. So it was fairly labor intensive, but it was very sweet. It was great to see everybody. What platform are you using, Aunt Nancy, at 2 p.m.? I want to know. Which call are you going to? You've got so many choices. Do they all ring at the same time? The Facebook, the WhatsApp, the Zoom, and the Skype? What if somebody called you at the same time and maybe she's already gone. Maybe she's already gone. Yeah, that's one of my recurring nightmares, is that everything will go off at the same time. And I won't know how to, and from different people, not the same person trying to reach me on all the platforms, but different people, but like different people calling me on the gajillion different things that I have. Oh, it's MS Teams. See, I'm resisting MS Teams. Somebody on our board suggested it, and I was just like, nope, I'm not going there. Bye. Have a great rest of the day. Bye. It's Tuesday, 1:55, people. Yes, it was definitely worth the prep work, Dana. Yes, it was. And we had balloons, and it was all a lot of fun. It was a little, I felt like a wedding planner. This is what wedding planners do. They decide where people will sit, and they bring balloons. Event organizers, not just wedding planners, right? Event organizers do this. If we are the first to do anything, others will model. So you have to be proactive. I guess so. We do have to be proactive about safety measures. We do have to. I am still mind boggled by the whole hybrid thing. I don't get it. So imagine that I have a bunch of, whatever, second graders, like we did back in the fall. We brought them in for children's chapel. So I'm doing a little chapel. How do I include the ones who are at home on Zoom? Do I just stick a computer up somewhere and say, you all watch what's going on? But that's so ugly. I wouldn't want to do that. Watch somebody walking up and down, not be able to hear them correctly. I'd be like, forget this. Bye, Scott. Have a great rest of the day. I went to a early morning virtual yoga class on Sunday morning, and it was hosted by some guy in India. And it was really the things not to do, right? He had this music playing throughout. And I'm like, listen, it's bad enough that it's virtual. Must you stick the music next to the speaker so that I can barely hear what you're saying? This is kind of 101. Shut the music off. But he disabled chat. So there was no way I could get the message out to him. Oh, she's here.
Did I work that out well? I'm like, ooh, it's 2:00.
Your entire family was here. Uncle Pete and Aunt Mimi. And
no,
Uncle
Pete wasn't here. It's all my Aunt Mimi. That's my Aunt Mimi.
But Aunt Nancy left, and she had to go on an MS Teams meeting.
Was my cousin Meredith here?
No. Aunt Mimi's senior prom was 2 months after Reverend Emily was born. Oh, that is amazing.
I love Dana's surprise. Your whole family has been talking about you. Anyway, Tuli, I have to tell you, kudos to you. I could not have a conversation by myself.
Well, now it's in staff meeting, and I'm not going to say a word because I'm all talked out. You'll have to carry it.
No, you're in charge today.
All
right, people.
It's 2:00.
Congratulate.
Who are we congratulating?
You on completing this amazing, extraordinary
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Seriously, you are amazing.
Oh, please.
Anyway, all right, everybody.
We still got 2 minutes. Now it's your turn.
My turn.
Yes, now I'm keeping quiet.
Did you talk about the fact that we're counting down the days until Reverend Robin comes back?
I did. I started with that, and I inserted it somewhere in between, and we can close with that.
Well, just to say, so many of you know that Reverend Robin has a person who schedules her calendar for her. And she does a lot of her own scheduling, but so hilariously this week has been as I don't know, Tuli, if you've been doing this, but last night I was in a meeting at 5:30 on my day off, and I was in this meeting, and they're like, okay, so we'll see you next week. And I'm like, not me. I'm sending Jordan an email right now to put it on Reverend Robin's calendar. So totally counting down the days.
Thank you, Jen. Yes.
What did Jen say? Oh, yes. Well done.
Jen said, well done, that I managed for 30 minutes. You've got 1 more minute now. Go. I've been doing
I'm just trying to talk to you. And then, you were off and running. You were like, we're here doing something else. And I was waiting for a response.
Follow the chat. It's just because I can't respond over here. I can only respond on the Facebook. It's the most disconcerting thing ever.
We'll give you power, Tuli. We'll give you power.
No, I don't want it. Please. No, thank you. I don't want the power.
Oh, I will. Oh no, it's 2:00. I was going to end with a story, but nope.
No, tell the story quick. Come on.
Well, so just my daughter's school district, they're having a spring concert tonight where they're all singing, right? And so yesterday at 10 a.m.
Outside.
outside, 3 feet apart, the whole thing. They've been 6th, 7th, and 8th grades been working, they each have their own concerts. And like for weeks now, we've been like, if you're not going, opt out, right? It's like, we have all the instructions. And so yesterday at 10 a.m., the teacher wrote to us and said, like, here's your final announcement of everything you need. And then obviously there were a whole bunch of parents who wrote and said like, sorry, my kid can't be there. At which point, like a half hour later, we get the note from this, like the music director of over all the schools who was like, she is getting a lot of responses and you better be there with your kids or they're going to get a 0. It was like all the parents got in trouble. So there you go. We will be at the spring concert tonight. I will be there instead of the finance committee meeting. So Tuli,
Lucky you.
You've got that all to yourself as well. Blessings upon you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Now we're officially late.